This episode of Family Trips is brought to you by Nissan. Whether you want more adventure, more electric, more action, more guts, or more turbocharged excitement, Nissan is here to make sure you get it. Learn more at nissanusa.com.
Hey, everybody. There's some swearing in this episode, so if you're hanging out with kids, driving in the car or something, maybe listen to this one later.
Or if you curse around your kids all the time, just let it rip.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Hi, Pashi.
Hi, Sufi. How are you?
I'm a little tired. I'm not going to lie. You are aware of my middle son, Axel.
Yeah? No, I know him.
Your nephew.
Yeah.
Axel has been waking up a lot in the middle of the night.
Uh-huh.
And he woke up at 5 a.m, and I had to go into his room and lie down with him because he had a question for me. And you know what the question was?
What's that?
Why were Jack and Rose the last two to get off the Titanic? Now, here's the thing. You know my lovely bride, Alexi.
Yeah?
We are raising our kids with very limited access to screens. They don't watch a ton of stuff.
Right.
And when I show them Disney movies of our youth that I think they'll love, Robin Hood, Jungle Book,
Yeah?
The Rescuers, stuff like that, I feel like she looks at me sideways because those movies are bad, just have, just bad influence on kids. I don't quite know why, but I just think
Yeah.
she doesn't
Also,
want to
I've
watch
been
it.
with you when we've watched one of those, and we only watched like half. You said like we're going to watch 4 songs and that's it, and then you finished up the other half later.
Yeah, half a movie at a time. We're trying to introduce cinema to them in a way that's deeply unsatisfying.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The kids are obsessed. I don't think they're alone. They're obsessed with the Titanic.
Yeah.
And so unilaterally, Alexi decided to show them scenes from the movie Titanic. Now, there is nothing in the Disney Robin Hood that is as scary or as haunting as any frame of the film Titanic.
Yeah. I mean, well, early frames probably aren't as terrifying, but as soon as it starts going bad, it's going bad.
There's a scene in the film, I had forgotten this, where a mom, basically resolved to her fate, just puts the kids to bed and basically doesn't let the kids know you're about to, drown in
Perish.
icy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That my kids had to watch that.
And Axel woke up in the middle of the night?
Woke up in the middle of the night and had questions about Jack and Rose, and I didn't show him Titanic. Doesn't feel like I should be the one lying in a lower bunk at 5 a.m. trying to get my kid back to sleep after his iceberg-induced trauma. I'm just getting a raw deal, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah. I saw Titanic in a theater with Mom, and we snuck in
I was
beers.
with you.
You
I was with
were?
you. Yeah, it was a Christmas break.
In the
And
Bedford
we were
Mall?
back home. Yeah, in the Bedford Mall.
Yeah.
Although I feel like no one gave me a beer, but it
Wow.
does.
We only had 4, and we
You only
needed 2
had
each
4.
because that was a long one.
It wasn't a long one. It does explain. I remember at the end of it, you guys were you were screaming at the screen. You were definitely pretty drunk by the end.
I don't know if I was drunk.
You were. Remember, you were like, "Go Jack, you fucking unsinkable ship."
I was rooting for the iceberg.
You were rooting for the iceberg. You just didn't like the hubris of the ship's engineers. I remember that. The more you drink, the less you like engineering hubris.
Hmm.
One of our wonderful producers, Sam, she sent us some news about the Grand Canyon. We do want this podcast to be, among other things, a clearinghouse for Grand Canyon news.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm about to talk about?
Is it the beefalo?
The beefalo.
Also known as
Cattle. So cattle and buffalo, or buffalo, and I guess beef being cattle. A dude named Charles Buffalo Jones, Buffalo nickname.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's in quotes.
Yeah.
And he brought, in the early 1900s, he brought a herd of bison to northern Arizona to crossbreed with his cattle. This is like, he's like the Elon Musk of his day. He was a dreamer. So in the depths of the Depression, he abandoned the project. I think the money ran out.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden he had to abandon it. And he left behind some of the hybrid herd known as either cattle or beefalo. I think for the purposes of this podcast, can we agree beefalo is the better?
Yeah, it is the better.
Yeah. So there's about 600 beefalo left. And they're confined to a small space. They do not migrate. The herd is damaging the soil, waters, and flora of Grand Canyon's Kaibab Plateau. I probably said that wrong. Apologies.
I think that's right.
There's been a debate over the years whether the herd is native wildlife or wildlife that was introduced. So in 2014, they were declared native. Since then, things have changed, and now they're no longer considered native, but instead introduced. And I think it's fair to say that's something where if old Buffalo Jones didn't show up, there you were not going to have beefalo.
Right.
So it's a problem. Grand Canyon National Park recently made international news when it advertised a call for volunteers to come shoot bison living on its north rim. This invitation sparked 45,000 applications. 45,000, that's a big number. But I guess I'm not surprised in America that if you said you want to come shoot a bison.
Yeah, you want to shoot at something that you really can't miss.
Yeah, only 12 people will be selected by lottery. Each winner gets the right to shoot one bison and pack its carcass out of the park. This is a place you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go when those 12 people are there.
Oh, guess what? They're not going to tell you when they're scheduled to be there.
I bet I could find out. They're also, I believe that peninsula is off the north rim, which is somewhere I do want to go, but I'll get to the north rim and I'm just going to tuck right into that sweet canyon, lickety-split, and be away from there. I wouldn't mind seeing the beefalo. It sounds like there's still going to be a few left.
I feel like you, for Christmas, maybe for my birthday is around the Christmas episode, maybe, because you're writing these hit songs for all our guests every episode. Would you maybe write me a song about the beefalo to the tune of Van Morrison's Tupelo Honey?
Maybe. Yeah, I'll give you a maybe on that.
Beefalo Money? Maybe about how that dude wanted to make that beefalo money? Look, I mean, I'm doing most of the work here. Can I just point out, because you have to write a song every week, you do so much more work on this than I do. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's fair. You can point that out.
How many times are you completely under the gun when your song is due?
I feel like you and I are the same in terms of procrastinating and then sort of getting it together kind of last minute. So I need to get these songs to the producers by the end of day on Friday, just to avoid any sort of last minute stress for the editor to drop it in. So having that deadline is good for me, and I haven't missed one. And then I was just out of town last week. I went back to see Mom and Dad, and then I saw you with a bunch of our friends for our fantasy football draft weekend. Yep. And so I had to write 2 before I left for that trip, but that was all right.
And then I should note, you also wrote a song for our fantasy football draft. And during COVID, when we were doing a weekly Zoom, you were writing a song a week just for a group of friends to listen to.
Yeah.
So, been very giving with your talents, and I've been very lucky to be a recipient of your gift.
I feel like you're mocking it, but they are 100% gifts. I do them.
You have a gift. That's what I
say. Oh, I say that they are. When I play a song, I have given a gift to the group.
We have our guest today is Leslie Jones, who's a wonderful human being. And by the time you hear this, I'm hosting a book event with her in New York City at a place called the 92nd Street Y, which is done a lot of events there over the years. It's a wonderful place where people go and see conversations between, creative people. And I would say it's a very sort of well-educated, sort of upper-class New York audience. And based on our podcast, I just hope they're prepared for how many F-bombs they're about to hear, because they come pretty fast and furiously with Leslie Jones, and very authentically.
Yeah. No, they really do. Yeah, she doesn't hold back.
She
holds back in one spot in this episode because she felt like I needed it to be a little lighter.
Sudden sort of 40 minutes into a podcast that she does have breaks.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy listening as much as we enjoyed talking to Leslie Jones. But first, here's a little of our friend Jeff Tweedy.
Family trips with the Myers brothers. Family trips with the Myers brothers. Here we go.
Why not, right?
What's up, motherfucker?
Oh boy.
Oh shit!
We're gonna have to warn our listeners
Oh
that this will be the F-bomb episode.
God, don't tell me that you don't curse on a podcast.
No, we don't worry. We
Oh,
curse.
Go.
No,
Shit.
I'm very excited because we're now talking to an author, Leslie Jones. And just to
Oh.
speak to the amount of cursing you might hear today, Leslie, tell all our listeners the name of your new book.
Leslie fucking Jones, bitch.
I should know bitch is not in the title.
Bitch is
She
not
was-
in the title, but I
You
was
were the
referring.
bitch. If you're listening, you were the bitch in Leslie fucking Jones' bitch.
It's implied. It's implied.
Oh my God! Hey, boo!
Hi.
It's always so crazy when I see you again because it's just like, hey.
I know. Well, I will say, I feel like I've seen you even more recently than I have seen you because I have been reading your memoir, Leslie fucking
Oh, you
Jones.
read it?
I've been
You read
reading
that
it,
shit?
and it's so. I mean, the first thing I did, Leslie, and I think you do it too. Search for my name, Josh. How many times do you think my name comes up in Leslie Jones's book?
Did I? I don't think I said your name at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 0.
Twice.
I don't think I. I don't.
It did
I
come up
did?
twice. Yeah.
Is that because you
was it
write?
bad or
Is that
good?
because you write your name on the inside cover of a book when you get it, so everyone knows it's yours?
Oh no, I didn't count when I did write Seth on the inside, but I didn't count that one.
Wait a minute! I said your name twice. I don't remember those stories.
I mean, they're not about me. First of all, I'm deeply offended. One was that you were talking to Melissa McCarthy at a party that happened to be for my last show, and then you
Okay.
also quote me. I said once when you were on my show that honesty is your main export. So I made it in that way. No mention of Game of Jones are
know.
incredibly popular.
I know.
I mean, I can't
I
believe you wrote a
know.
memoir and it didn't make
I
it.
know. It's so much stuff. So much stuff that I thought about afterwards. I was like, oh wow. Like, matter of fact, I had to go back and add Coming to America and the Cat Williams thing because I was like, oh shit, I forgot I did that. I know. But I'm sorry.
Maybe you need another book called Leslie Remembered Some Other Shit.
Exactly. and then plus two, the paperbacks are coming up, and I heard that you can add stuff to the paperback.
You can add in a paperback. So that's good to know. Feel free to write on our time together.
I think I might mention Game of Jones in the Audible. Maybe. I don't know. I probably not. Because I don't remember, Seth.
Wait, have you already recorded the Audible book?
Yes.
Okay.
It's so good. It's so good.
I mean, that is the dream, is listening to somebody whose voice is iconic read their own memoir. How long did it take?
It took me a week, and we did 3 hours a day, and I didn't say one word in the book. I literally did not read one word off the pages. I think I might have read 2 words and then just went into all the stories in each chapter. It's so good.
Your Audible book is more of a companion.
It's going to be something else. I'll put it like that.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I do love listening when authors and authors who are writing sort of autobiographical stuff write about themselves and then they read it. It's just the best. Like I remember listening to McConaughey's book, and it's just great.
Yeah. It's like when I was reading the stories, I didn't know that the emotion was going to come with it. So it's a lot of crying, it's a lot of laughing, it's a lot of just a lot of Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's good. That's good. I got Audible credits to burn.
Burn those credits, baby.
I'll burn them.
Well, first of all, what is this dark fucking like Mona Lisa setup shit you got behind you? Good God.
I'm in a guest room, and I'm going to tell you a story that hopefully you guys will enjoy, which is I got in here like 20 minutes early, and I decided to take a nap on the guest room bed, and then my wife walked in and could see there was an indentation. She said, "Did you take a nap?"
You got to pull the corner of the sheet. You got to pull that
Wait a minute.
blanket.
She saw that there was an indentation. What does that mean? That there's
She
a
saw
ghost?
that I was laying in the bed, and she did not care for the fact that I, instead of spending 20 more minutes being a dad, decided to sneak into a room and sort of steal a nap.
Yeah, but she ain't telling you about the naps that she be stealing though.
Well, when I come in, there's 2 indentations, Leslie. I don't think she's just napping.
Oh, oh, you better hope that's a ghost.
All right, Leslie. I obviously we're talking about family trips, and there is a lovely family trip story that I want to start by asking you about in your book about how your dad drove through the night. He liked to be a night driver.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of things I didn't know about my dad. I don't think he could sleep very well. I don't think he slept very well. So I like, and then plus two, he always had late night jobs. He always had a second job where he was working at night. So he would come in and I just started staying up because he was up. So it made me become a night person. But whenever we would go on those trips, we always left at nighttime. We always left at nighttime because there's nobody on the road. I'm assuming, and he can speed or either get there faster or whatever. But oh my God, those was the best ones because he had the best music. So, we always listened to music together. That was our thing that we, pretty much connected together.
And you singing while you're listening to music? Are you singing along?
Yeah, sometimes you sing, sometimes he would sing. It depends on what the song was. Back in the day, those songs would be like 14 minutes long, and you have some singing, but there's a lot of instrumental part too, But we used to always sing. I don't know if you remember this song, Nita Ward, "Ring My Bell." You can ring my bell. You remember that song?
Yeah.
Okay, so we used to sing it in the back seat, and we would fight over who was going to get to go, doo, doo. So my dad would be like, God damn it, y'all stop fighting over that now. And pick y'all take turns on who going to do, doo.
So you were not happy sharing the do.
No, they always wanted me to do the lead. They always wanted me to go, the night is young. They always wanted me to do the lead, but I always wanted to be like, doo, it's just. But my cousin never argued. My cousin would always be in the middle, and he was like, I'm going to be the train go, ding, 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 ding.
When someone's like actively claiming triangle, I got appreciation for your cousin. So who's in the car? Who's in the car when you're driving? When you're on these trips? When
we were younger. It was my mom, my dad, me, and my brother most of the time. But sometimes my grandmother would be with us, and sometimes my cousin Joseph would be with us.
All right.
And your grandmother was in Memphis, is that correct?
Yes, she lived in Memphis. My grandmother, born and raised in Memphis. Yep.
And you would drive. So where you're driving to Memphis from where at the time?
At North Carolina, we would be, wherever we were living at, which was mostly North Carolina because my dad was in the Army. So Fort Bragg, I think that's where he had to mostly be. So we would always drive from North Carolina to Memphis and Memphis back. I don't think I ever flew a plane until I was in college.
And did you ever bring your grandmother back with you, or did she?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
gotcha.
we always did. And I just so funny because that's when we did the Castle hotel room. But I don't know why I never put this in a book. I think we had this in the book. I took it out. But my dad had this van, and my dad was an electronic engineer. Everything was wired up in that van, and he had these big, heavy speakers in the back. Like they were small, but they were like heavy, the metal thing that he hooked up. And one of them shits fell on my head, man. And I just remember my dad feeling so bad. He was like, are you okay? He was so upset about it. But I was just like, you know how you try to act like it doesn't hurt? Like, oh no, Dad, I was okay. I'm okay. I actively hurting so fucking bad. Like,
I will say a very funny song to have a speaker fall on your head to is "You Can Ring My Bell."
And I think that's what was playing, goddamn it.
It just hit you and went, boo,
boo, boo, boo.
I do want to talk about, so your dad was the one who loved the Ramada Inns.
No, yeah. Well, my dad liked the best of everything. And at the time, Ramada Inn was the best of everything. I mean, I come from a time where Ramada Inn was a #1 hotel. Okay. Now it's shit. It's shit now. Okay. It's shit now. But Ramada Inn used to be like what Marriott is. Okay. Ramada Inn used to be Marriott. Okay.
Gotcha.
So we were driving and there was a castle. I mean, literally the hotel looked like a castle.
So this is a theme hotel.
Yeah, and it just looked like a castle, and I was like, "Dad, we have to stay there." And my dad was like, "Only if it's a Ramada Inn," and it was a Ramada Inn, baby, and we stayed there. Yep.
Great.
Do you recall how it was different? Other than, was it just sort of a facade of a castle, or did it feel different?
Well, to a kid, it looked like a fucking castle. They had like the things in the the sconces, and they had the carpet that looked like a castle carpet. I thought it was a castle. I mean, of course, now thinking back to it and think about the room, I was like, oh, that definitely wasn't a castle. That definitely.
There's
was
very
not a
few
castle.
castles between Fort Bragg and Memphis. That's not known as the Castle Corridor.
I just remember us running up and down the hallway. Me and my
Running
brother,
up and down a hotel hallway is the best. When you're a kid, it's
like,
the best.
Yeah, it's like a fucking castle. We're running up and down the hallway. So
Yeah. My kids have stayed in some pretty fancy places, and they would take a Ramada Inn over all of them. Like today, Ramada Inn.
yeah, because like the Marriotts and all, they got washing machine and dryers. They got Coke machines. Like you got a whole room where there's a snack machine and a Coke machine to a kid. That's like goddamn carnival. And my dad would give us $1 each. We thought we can die now. We can die.
Those are obviously, those are trips to see family. Did you go on vacations where the destination was not family?
Yes, we went to, one time I remember we went to California. We went to California to see my mom's side of the family. But while we were there, we went to Universal Studios. And damn, I don't know why I didn't put this in the book either. I'm telling you, it's not that I didn't forget. It was just the book would have been 1,700 pages long. So
yes, I should note that stories that you put in instead are not boring stories. They're all great stories. So I understand why not everything.
Right.
It's an embarrassment of riches.
An embarrassment of riches.
But we went to, and I remember this because I fainted. It was so hot in California. We came to Cali and we went to Universal Studios, and all I kept saying to my cousins in them is like, what's wrong with you? Because it's hot. It's hot. And why aren't y'all hot? It's hot. So we went to Universal Studios, and they don't have no roofs. The sun is just beaming. And I just remember standing there with my mom, and I just was like, I don't understand these people. So I went up to the shade to put my head on the counter because it was just so hot. And they said I passed out. And I remember waking up to my brother hitting my head with the wax Frankenstein that we had got. So he was hitting my head with it. And my dad was like, stop hitting your head. What's wrong with you? and and the park attendant, and she was like, yeah, kids faint all the time. And I remember saying this because my dad grabbed me because I was like, if kids is fainting, why don't you just do something about it?
That's a fair question.
My dad was like, stop being rude. She's trying to give you some cold water. And I was just like, damn. So then after this, I was fine because they gave me water or whatever. Then we went on the Jaws ride, which this is enough already. This is a fucking enough. So we're riding. I'm thinking, I'm so happy that I'm not getting sick on the boat because I don't like boats. So I'm just happy that I'm not getting sick. Then all of a fucking sudden, a goddamn shark attacks the fucking. I look back at my dad and I just go, can we fucking go back to North? What sweet hell is this?
You were so young that you didn't know that there would be a shark on the Jaws ride?
I knew that there was, but I wasn't mentally, I was already just like, I want this to be fucking over. We're in this boat. Okay, I'm not sick. And then this motherfucker goes, run! I was like, God, I was so fucking mad. I just remember looking back at my dad and starting to cry. And he was like, stop crying. And I was like, I don't go. I want to go. I have not fucking been to Universal Studios since that goddamn day.
And you worked for Universal's parent company for years.
I did? Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, there's a Jaws moment sort of in the studio tour when you're in one of those buses and you drive by it.
And it's so annoying. It's annoying. It annoyed the fuck out of me.
I was shooting something last year in a house that was right near the sort of Jaws feature of the tour. And because we were shooting, all the Jaws stuff would happen, but they had to have no sound on it. So the shark would come out and it was silent, and there would be like some fire, but it would be dead silent. And it really ruined that moment for everyone for a week as we were shooting in the house where the original, it was the best little whorehouse in Texas, something like that. Like,
Oh yeah.
we were-
She was in the best little whorehouse in Texas.
no, we were using the house that they used for that.
Because I was like, wow, you are
Yeah.
old.
It's funny to think that was just a title of a movie. that
Yeah,
was
it's
in
funny that a
theaters.
lot of shit. A lot of shit. You know, I was looking at what the fuck I was looking at the other day. Danny Terrio. You remember Dance Fever?
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I just saw a kid. Is that
Yeah.
a ghost? Is that a ghost, Seth?
That
Or
is
that
my nephew.
Oh, that's an
Axel.
actual kid. Okay, because I was like, he's in that scary ass room. You have kids. Like, I feel like we should report you or something. Like
I know.
you should have been approved first. Like
I know.
that.
Certainly,
what
a
are they-
guy who
what were
can't
they
figure out how
thinking?
to lock the guest room door shouldn't have his own children.
I mean, especially one who doesn't know how to clean the indentation in their fucking bed. I mean, Jesus.
So that California trip, was there any highlights other than passing out at Universal?
Eating all of the pickles. I mean, you know, they had this jar of pickles. Later, I found out they were Vlasic. It was so good. And
Where were the pickles eaten?
and at my cousin's house in California. We went there for the Disneyland trip.
You went to a state with maybe the most theme parks of any in America, and one of your memories is eating pickles at your cousin's house?
Because they were really good pickles, homie.
Had you never had
it's a
plastic
dilly of a pickle.
pickles?
No, I had pickles before, but these pickles, something special about them. I don't fucking know. They were Vlasic. They were I had never had those. So I was just like, and my aunt was just letting me eat them. So I was just like, this is fucking great. You know, this is fucking great. But I did get to, I went with my mother to see her mother. She hadn't seen her since she abandoned her. I was there with her when she did that. But, yeah, which was very weird because I didn't know who she was. And she kept telling me that I was named after her and that I was her grandmother. And I was like, you're not my fucking grandmother. My big mama is my grandmother. And that's I don't know who you are. And she had these white gloves on. And it just seemed like she was scaring the shit out of my mom. And I just didn't like her.
How old were you during this trip?
I think, because I was very young.
Yeah, it only gets weirder the younger you are.
Yeah, I think it may have been like 10, maybe 9 or 10. I know I was old enough to know.
Your mother decided she needed to do this trip?
We was going to just go to California to see her side of the family. I didn't know she even had a side of the family, which is hilarious. You know, as a kid, I only knew my father's, you know, the aunts and the uncles and all of them, my cousins, but I didn't know my mom's side. So it was always so weird, like, oh, Ma, you got a mama and daddy too. Yeah, I guess we got to go find that out. And we didn't meet. I think her father had passed away. So we met her sisters. I met her brother. And then, you know, we went to visit her mother. We went to go visit her mother with me. She didn't take my brother, but she took me with her. And I just remember her saying, oh, yeah, you know, because my first name is Annette. She was like, you know, you was named after me. And I knew whatever was going on, because, you know, I don't find out until later. You know, parents do not tell kids shit. You know, you don't find out until you talk to cousins and all of that shit that they had some kind of weird relationship, you know, because my mother's mother abandoned her and her brother and raised the sisters, but sent her and her brother to her aunt in Arkansas. So I think that might have been the first time that she saw her since that. And I just remember that I didn't like her. She had these white gloves on and she kept, you know, she just was doing things that my mother you could totally tell my mother was fucking scared. And I didn't like that this woman was making my mother scared. So I was rude as fuck to her. She had to grab me a couple times because I was just like, I don't know you. And I don't like how you making my mom feel. I just remember saying, I don't like how you're doing my mom. Like,
Yeah.
you're being mean to my mother. And she was just she was telling my mother, "Oh, you need to watch that one. You need to watch that." And I just remember my mother grabbing me like, "It's okay." And so it's like, "Yeah, I don't know who you are, like, but you're not my grandmother." So,
And it doesn't seem like you were prepared particularly well to know that your mom was about to be scared by this.
yeah, I didn't even understand it because my mom wasn't scared of nothing.
Yeah.
I had never seen my mom scared of shit.
Well,
So
it sounds also like you were a bit of a security blanket for your mother going into that circumstance. And
Probably.
Be like, yeah.
probably more of like, yeah, this is my daughter and I had a daughter and I'm here for her, you
Yeah.
know? And, you
Yeah.
know, so, you know, my children I loved my children. You know, I think that's what it was a lot of. So
Did you ever see her again?
my
Your
grandmother?
Yeah.
No, I just remember
Really?
when she died and my mom cried. And I just remember thinking, why are you crying? She was so mean. Like, why do you care? I didn't understand death. So I was just like, it's great. Good. She's gone. It's fucking. But my mom was really sad from it. She was very sad.
And that was a cross-country drive?
Yes. That was a car. So, yeah, we drove from Memphis to California.
Wow.
How long does that one take?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Well, you know, you don't know when you're a kid. It's like, are we there yet?
Right.
But it didn't take days because my dad would drive straight through. I do remember, though, that my dad was tired and my mom was like, I'll drive. And he was like, okay, just stay on this. And I think she took us 2 hours back. So, because I just remember my dad's like, God damn it, Diane, you done went the wrong goddamn way. We back 2 hours. My mom was like, I thought it was a shortcut.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. This episode of Family Trips is brought to you by Nissan. Posh, these days too many people have to settle for the next best thing, especially when it comes to choosing a car.
Yeah, but at Nissan, there's a vehicle type for everyone, for every driver who wants more.
Whether you want more adventure, more electric, more action, more guts, or more turbocharged excitement, Nissan is here to make sure you get it.
Because Nissan is all about giving people a whole spectrum of thrills to choose from with a diverse lineup of vehicles.
Sports cars to sedans to EVs, pickups, crossovers. With Nissan's diverse lineup, anyone can find something to help them reach their more. What are you looking for more of, Josh?
I like a nice ride. I like a nice sound system. I like something that's comfortable.
You like to have room to load up a bunch of gear, go somewhere, do an adventure.
I do. I'm never happier than when I have sort of a full car, a roof rack on my car. Makes me happy.
And all I need is a cup holder for an iced coffee.
And Nissan can provide you with both of those things.
So thanks again to Nissan for sponsoring this episode of Family Trips and for the reminder to find your more. Learn more at nissanusa.com. This episode of Family Trips is brought to you by McDonald's. Hey, Poshy.
Yeah?
Did you know that 1 in 8 people in the United States have worked at McDonald's?
That's a lot of people.
That's a ton of people. That's 12.5% of the U.S. population. 1 in 8 Americans have probably experienced the art of throwing McDonald's birthday party, or they know the feeling of the calm before the McDonald's lunch storm.
That 1 in 8 people, I've worked in some restaurants in my day, never at McDonald's, but I love the camaraderie of working at a restaurant. And I imagine that the camaraderie of a sort of shared experience that 1 in 8 Americans have has got to be pretty great.
And there are also a lot of cool things McDonald's does as an employer that people might not know about. McDonald's offers flexible hours and a schedule that works around your life, means more time for life.
They have the English Under the Arches program, which are classes offered to employees looking to improve their English speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills.
Career Online High School, where employees can graduate from high school by taking classes online.
And the Archways to Opportunity, which is a program that offers financial support for employees trying to graduate from college.
McDonald's is now serving much more than orders.
Here we go.
How were your parents in the car together?
Oh, my mom slept most of the time. My dad
Yeah.
my dad was always just listening to music. We were the problem. Me and my brother were the fucking problem. So it was just more of trying to keep me and my brother from killing each other and just, keep us from not being bored. You know what I'm saying? We were the problem.
How did they try to keep you interested and not bored?
Books, a lot of puzzle books. I didn't know I think my mom got me a diary after she discovered this, but we had these books and, like highlights and stuff like that. But I would write in these books. I think my aunt kept a couple of them, but I would write in these books like they were a diary. And And I think my mom bought me a diary after that because I had just started learning how to write. But I also cut my ponytails off one road trip. I would cut it. There used to be this like doll where you can cut the clothes out and then you pin it on the doll. So I had those scissors and I just was like, clip, clip.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got my ass whooped. Yeah.
Yeah, you got in trouble for that.
Oh no, I got my ass whooped. That was an ass whooping right there. She pulled over and whooped my ass. She was like, "Have you lost your motherfucking mind?"
She pulled over and then she got back on the road going in the wrong direction.
No, she wasn't driving. My dad just took a break and smoked a cigarette while I got my ass whooped.
Now, do you think did you keep those ponytails? Do you still have those somewhere?
I think she had to keep them because she was so fucking mad she didn't know what to do with them. I have a picture of when I cut them off too. I look fucking crazy. It's so funny. Oh my God. It's so funny.
I have a ponytail that I cut off and it's in my sock drawer at my parents' house.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, for real. Ew.
But here's the thing, Leslie. Josh had a way nicer bedroom than me for some reason, and I've gone back and visited, and I'll sleep in Josh's room, mostly because my parents also turned my old bedroom into a home office. And so
Wow.
I go into Josh's room, and one time I needed a pair of socks, and I open it up, and let me tell you, when you see a old ponytail, you feel like you're in a serial killer's house. Just like a
Did it
trophy.
make you throw up? Like
It was
wait a minute,
pretty.
First of all, who's the oldest?
Seth.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, you were the kid that was just supposed to take it. So yeah, Josh was definitely going to have the better room.
Josh had a better capacity to be impossible. Like Josh was stubborn. Like I feel like we were probably both pretty scared of my dad, but the way I was scared of my dad is I would do what he said, and the way Josh would be scared of the dad.
No, the second kid always was the fucking Are you kidding me? The older kid, we got the overprotection, but we were the trial. Like we were the like they tried everything out on us. Like, so we are soldiers. Like we're capable of being hurt. You know what I'm saying? We're capable of fucking like not crying and shit. Like we have impossible skills. The second kid ain't shit.
I will try to take no disrespect from that.
It's a very nuanced take, Josh. I think
Yeah,
you have to.
the second kid be fuck the second kid. Second kid gets all of the freedom like a motherfucker. Like we did this with the first one. They just get tired with the second kid. They just get tired.
Well, Seth's second kid is the one that just walked into this podcast.
Yeah, it's true. There's no respect.
Yeah. See, that's why he did though. But that's why he did because the first kid would know not to do that.
I will say, my bedroom, I used to share a wall with our parents.
Ew.
And when I became a teenager, I took over what was like the guest room, and the room next to them became the guest room. And so my room now, it sort of was the guest room. It's not really, it's my room, I suppose, but like the walls are peach, and it's very like there's like an upholstered chair at the desk, and none of like my kid stuff really is on the wall. I guess some, but your room, Seth, is sort of preserved, I would say.
It is true. My room
but the privilege of that whole statement that you just did is so second child. So I had one room, but then I decided that I wanted to be another part of the house. So I moved and they used my Ew.
The day I found out he was moving, I remember my reaction being, I didn't know we could move rooms.
Exactly, because I would have kicked your ass and took your room, right?
Yeah. He had a great room. His room was great.
Yeah, he had a great, did he?
Also, our parents started, because the dogs would want to go in and out of the bedroom, so they've started sleeping with the door open. So you would have to walk by, and like you will hear my father snoring, and then my mom like lays there like the dead. And I didn't want to have to walk by that anymore. So now I don't have to get to the bathroom.
Yeah, but you saying it like it's a choice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to see my parents. So I decided on my own that I was going to relocate. If I said that as a first kid, they'd be like, you move out that fucking room if you think you will. I swear to God, your motherfucking ass will be sleeping in the backyard.
Did your mom and dad get to see you do a stand up?
No, my mom had a stroke when I was in like the first year of my college and was bedridden till she passed. But my dad got to see me on BET. He got to see me on BET perform once before he passed.
Did your dad have an appreciation for comedy? Was he someone who?
Oh, my dad, which is so funny how when I told him I wanted to be a comic and he was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck told you was funny? Like all of the albums literally that he would listen to were a lot like he had a whole row of comedy albums. He had all the Richard Pryor albums. He had all the Red Fox albums, Millie Jackson, Mom's Mabley. I can't think of this. You remember Here Come the Judge? Here Come the Judge. Everybody Cracker. Here Come the Judge. Sweetfoot or something like that. But he used to listen to that every fucking night. And like anytime anybody was doing comedy, we watched it. Like I was introduced to Richard Pryor through my dad. It's like just because he was watching him and he was listening to him and he was dying. And I was like, damn, what is, and I would sneak and listen to those albums. And the first time I remember hearing Richard Pryor, I was like, this guy fucking knows my life. How does he know about switches and all of that shit? And it just was very intriguing. So yeah, my dad he was a DJ too. So he had all of those albums. Like we watched all of that shit. Like we watched Lawrence Welk. My dad would make us watch Lawrence Welk. Like he thought Lawrence Welk was a G. He was like, just the way he ran that fucking show. My dad literally we watched so much stuff. So when I became a comic, and told him I wanted to be a comedian, I thought he would be happy. He was like, you must be out your fucking mind. Like, who told you was funny? You've never made me laugh ever. And I was like, I thinking in my head, I was like, when we finally had to talk later, when I became a comedian or whatever established, I was like, I used to make you laugh all the time. He was like, yeah, but I'm not going to tell somebody that I want to be in college that's on a full scholarship. Yeah, give up your fucking scholarship and become a clown. Like, no, I was worried about you. So,
You started playing sports late, right?
No, I started playing sports in the 6th grade. I was just, when I hunkered down to basketball was like the 7th grade.
Okay, gotcha. And so was that, you were a full ride for basketball?
Well, when I went to, high school and stuff, I got a scholarship. And it started off as a partial. I had a partial scholarship to Chapman College. And then I got a full scholarship to Colorado State.
All right. Gotcha. And did your parents ever visit you? Well, I guess your mom, so she's has a stroke when you were a freshman.
Yeah, no, but she got to see me on campus, though. She used to come. She used to actually sneak up and clean my room, which was very frustrating. Very frustrating.
But sneak up from California?
Well, Chapman, Orange County is like an hour from Linwood. So
okay,
she would just jump in the car.
I gotcha.
And come up on campus and go in and clean my
like
fucking
some
room.
First child kind of treatment right there.
Yeah,
you know what? You know what, Josh? Hey, Josh, you can take a long walk on a short pier, okay? And I said that in a white way, and I ain't say what I was really thinking, which was go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I will say that the last thing I expected in response to that was a long walk off a short pier. I reckon that's the first time you've said that.
Oh, you reckon?
No,
yeah, I reckon.
No.
Hey, if we're allowed to start talking a way we don't usually talk, then I reckon.
No, exactly. Like I like to tell flat earthers, like, go take a long walk on a short earth. Just walk the fuck off of the side, you idiot. But yeah. My mom got to see me in college. My dad would come to my basketball games. He would sit way up high in the bleachers and shit, and he'd come to all my games.
Was he a good sports dad? Was he the kind that would cheer for you no matter what?
No, he just was dad. He always gave me, pointers and stuff about basketball. But I think my dad really was a more of like find your own way type shit. I'm a girl playing basketball. I don't think that he knew I was that good until I got a scholarship. He might have knew, but didn't know. So when I got a scholarship, it was like, oh, it's a big deal. She's playing college ball, so he would come and see my games. But he wasn't like the type that's like, oh, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He just sat up there and watched me
And how long did you play once you got to Colorado State before you?
Oh, I was redshirt at
Okay.
Colorado State. So when I went to Colorado State, which was in '87, yeah, it was in '87, and I was redshirting, so I didn't get to play at all. And then I became a comedian, and then I, went off to become a comedian.
Wow.
I love college. Yep.
And now we're going to take a quick break to hear from one of our sponsors. Josh, were you aware that fresh ball fall is upon us?
Oh, yeah.
You did know.
Yeah, it's getting a little cooler out there.
Well, for those who don't know, Fresh Ball Fall is a reminder to make sure your balls look nice with the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped.
Nature may clear the leaves of the trees, but you'll need Manscaped's help to get you ready for that sweater weather. So get your pants puppies prepared for cuffing season with a trim as refreshing as a fall breeze by going to manscaped.com and using code TRIPS for 20% off plus free shipping.
We want to make it clear, this is not just targeted to our male listeners. This is for female listeners who might want to buy a gift as a subtle hint to the man in their lives as to the sort of trimming that you think is necessary. Gardening, if you will, of that special area.
Maybe you're getting tickled by your man's short and curlies.
You, of course, know I famously proposed by trimming the words, "Will you marry me?" into what at the time was just a hedgerow.
Yeah. We have a friend that we were just hanging out with, and we mentioned that we might be doing an ad for Manscaped. And I don't know if we're allowed to say this on the podcast, but he said, "I fucking love Manscaped."
Yeah.
He was like, "Guys fucking love Manscaped."
You guys bring in the fall right and get 20% off and free shipping with the code TRIPS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code TRIPS as the leaves fall. Make sure you have it all with Manscaped. I like it when it rhymes.
Yeah, you do.
Here we go.
It was not an overnight success, which I know from when you...
Absolutely not.
So you leave in
Absolutely
88,
not.
basically.
Yeah, no, I left 87. I came home.
Okay, so
it was
87 you
November.
start to do
Yeah.
comedy, and then I guess you get hired on SNL in 2014.
Exactly. So an overnight success. Overnight.
But these are work trips. These aren't family trips. But you put some miles on this country going to do clubs.
Oh my God, it's so funny when you hear Mike Tyson talk about how many fights that he had to fight before he got his first real fight. It's the same thing with comedy. I used to think that I would be able to count my gigs. Man, after 500, I just stopped counting because you at this point now, I'm performing everywhere. I'm performing at little dives. I'm performing at cafes. I performed in a hair salon once. I mean, you're doing all these crazy gigs. You stop counting after a while. It just becomes, that. So yeah, I have burnt this motherfucker. I remember that I used to have the travel miles of a goddess. Oh, and I had everyone, American West, Southwest. I had all of the cards. I put that motherfucker out, put my miles on that shit. I stopped fucking with Delta for 3 years because I had got 97,000 fucking miles on Delta, right? But for some reason, I was flying America West. It was short things, and I wasn't using Delta. And them motherfuckers said, if you don't book a flight, we're going to take your points. And I got on the phone with that bitch, and I said, let me explain something to you, bitch. I pay for those flights. I earn those points. You can't just take my motherfucking points. They mines. They fucking mines. And that bitch took my points. Yo, 97,000 fucking points, Delta. I never forgave him. I never forgave Delta.
I want to say something, Leslie. I feel like almost all your stories are about you telling somebody, you fucking listen to me right now. And I feel like half of them break your way and the other half go exactly the opposite.
But at least you say your piece.
You said your piece.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to understand that a closed mouth don't get fed, and I am that bitch. I will ask. No, I mean, only thing you can do is say no. That's all you can do. You can't come whoop my ass. You can't do none of that. Only thing you can do is say no, Leslie. That is not possible.
Well, actually, in this case, they said no, and they took your miles away. So
And
there
that
was something else they
bitch
could do.
I said, let me tell you something, Delta. You'll never get another goddamn penny from me. And Delta didn't give a fuck. They don't
You've
give a
flown
fuck.
Delta. You've flown Delta since.
I had to, yeah. I had
It's a nice
to.
airline.
But I don't like them. I don't like, you know
Yeah.
why? Because they fly in a spiral. When they take off, they spiral. When they take off, they do like this. So I get really sick. Now, America just goes up to the left.
I do not believe you that different airlines take off different ways.
I promise to God, I had to research this because I was getting so sick on the takeoff. And I was just like, why? And I got a pilot in the fucking airport once. And I said, dude, why am I always sick when it takes off? He said, oh, well, what you don't understand is that the airlines are different parts of the airport, so they do have to do a different thing to get into the air so they won't run into each other. Delta happens to use a spiral. They do use a spiral to go into the air. If you're on a Delta flight, look at how many times they turn when they take off.
I'm so upset that our viewers can't see what you're doing. Every time Leslie says spiral, she makes a spiral shape because she thinks I don't know what a fucking spiral is.
It's like a tornado kind of thing, but
you didn't know what
gentless.
zigzag was. You said some serpentine shit. I was like,
Oh,
that's
serpentine.
zigzag.
Oh my gosh.
And American takes off and goes to the left.
All right.
Is this at a particular airport or is this everywhere?
No, it's every airport. They have a
Right.
different flying pattern.
So Leslie, when you first start making money and you start to go on the vacations you want to go on, where were the places that you first started spending money on vacation?
Oh, the first place I was with Cecily and them. The first real trip I ever. Well, I had already been out of the country, Amsterdam and all of that stuff, but for work. But when I went on my first vacation, it was to Italy, and I went with Arundel and Cecily Strong, and it was fucking hilariously fun. It was so fucking fun. And then we went to Cabo. I think we went to Cabo, and then I went to Cabo with my friends. I think that's about the only vacation. Did I take another vacation? I'm pretty sure I did. I just don't remember. Jamaica! We went to Jamaica. Oh, Jamaica was so fun.
Is Jamaica the best? That's on our list.
Jamaica is the bomb. And make sure that you have mangoes. Oh my God. You will never eat a mango in USA again if you have a mango in Jamaica. The best thing ever.
Did Lauren tell you to go to Jamaica? Because Lauren has always told me to go to Jamaica.
Let me tell you something. Lauren got so many bitches everywhere. Lauren got bitches in France. He's always telling me to go to France. I was like, what you be doing up in France? And then he's always in Jamaica. I was like, what you be doing? You got you a couple of bitches here now.
Can I tell you, did this ever happen to you? And I know that you had a very unique relationship with Lauren.
Yes.
It was special. Part of it, and tell me if you think it's true, I think Lauren knew you were almost immediately an adult in the room. I think he had a lot of respect for the years you'd put in doing this. Because a lot of times, he hires people who are very green.
And young.
And he has to put some space between him and those people because he can't be their friend right away. He felt like you guys had a nice understanding early on. But I don't know if this ever happened. Lauren, I remember my second year on the show, he said, I think we should go to St. Bart's, go for a couple of weeks. You get a house, you relax. The thing I wanted to say is, you have no idea how little you pay us. You have no idea. If you think I can go to St. Bart's and get a house, I can't even afford a flight.
No, he told me, he was like, Leslie, you make sure that you get a nice place to live here in New York so you can feel really good about what you're doing when you go to work. You know that you come home. It's nice. It's nice. You know why you work so hard, Leslie.
Seth's first summer after SNL, he slept on my couch in LA.
True story.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In an exceptionally shitty house. I went and slept on my brother's couch.
I just was happy I was paying my bills. I paid off my student loan. That was vacation to me. The day that I got that letter that said you are officially paid up in student loans, I was like, motherfucker, Bart's. Are you kidding me? I don't owe the government anymore. So, I lived in Harlem for 4 years that I was at SNL and didn't move into a good apartment until the last 2 years that I was at SNL.
You mentioned it in your book, and I don't know if that was as exciting for you as it was for me. because I was in LA when I got the job, when they tell you they're giving you money to relocate.
Oh my God.
It's
Fucking Kenward.
Yeah,
Kenward
you
said,
can't believe it, because when you're a comedian, when you're an actor, you've
Not
never
that
had a
much
job
money.
where you get money to relocate. And so
not that much money.
I think that is still the most excited I've ever been about a financial number.
Well, again, Seth, I had money before because I had been on tour. So it's not like I had never seen big amounts of money. But yes, when he said relocate, I was like, relocate, motherfucker, I didn't have no money. And Kimber was like, oh yeah, we're going to give you $9,500 to relocate. And literally my first question was, why not 10? It's just five. It's just fucking $500. Just
It's
give me
very
10K.
hard to satisfy you, Leslie.
Just give me 10K. Why the fuck would you give me 9 to 5?
This is a perfect example of Leslie Jones's life. She thinks it's zero. You tell her it's 9,500, and she does it. She was like, "Just make it 10."
But I'm just like, I was happy. I was happy, but I was like, deposit at 9,500 is like, they're gonna be like, why didn't they just give you 10K? I asked them, and I'm gonna be like, I asked them. But I was happy to have the 95 because I think I spent $3,000 total to move.
Yeah,
from LA because Neil Brennan gave me a job and I made him fly me first class so I can pack all my bags and bring all of my bags. So,
what job did Neil Brennan give you?
It was some sketch he wanted me to do in LA, and I was in New York, and I was like, you fly me first class, I'll do it for free so I can, get my bags back. So I was able to get like 4 bags filled with clothes on the plane.
And that day they said, hey, we need you to know Delta can't do our normal spiral takeoff because we have so much luggage.
I didn't fly Delta, goddammit. How about it flew something way cheaper?
But I mean, at that point, what's the first class?
Exactly,
what's first class on Frontier?
I think that's the first time that I had first class. No, it was American. That's the first time I got introduced to first class. I was like, oh, I'm not going back.
Yeah. I think I got flown business class when I flew out to audition, and that was thrilling.
The first time I flew on a private jet was with Cat Williams. And I'm going to tell you, that shit was crazy. And then when he called me to the back to smoke a joint. And I was like, first of all, I do not feel good about smoking weed on the plane. It just doesn't feel right. But okay, and it was just like, we on a private plane, the bitch bringing us food. Like, she bringing us food, man. Like, that shit was cool. I was like, at any time I could be like, hey, can you give me some tea? And she was like, and she'd be like, do you want sugars, honey? It was fucking dope. You could sleep anywhere.
Did Cat have his own plane, or did he charter?
I think he chartered. I think Live Nation chartered for him.
Oh, great.
So it was a couple of gigs that we would have to fly.
I mean, I would guess private plane with Cat Williams. It's hard to imagine anything being.
Oh my God, it's so fun, so fun! And just because everybody's doing their own thing on a private plane, everybody's doing their own thing. That's just like a first class big. But the gangster thing that happened to me was when me and Kate did Ghostbusters, and you remember, I think it was Julia Dreyfus was going to be the guest that week, and we had to go do some kind of crazy thing in Vegas, and Lauren was like, y'all need to be back for the table read. So we were in Lauren's office like, what the fuck? How the fuck how are we gonna do that? And he was like, I'm on the phone right now. They're gonna put you on a jet. And me and Kate was like, oh, okay. Oh,
we'll be there.
I was like, okay, Daddy.
Now so here's the thing. I have a question. So you finished shooting your thing in Vegas, and now it's you and Kate, just you and Kate on the private plane?
No, it's me, Kate, my hairdresser, Melissa, her people. It was a couple of people on it.
I would imagine it's the bummer, right? You get on it, you're going to work. What you should do is go to bed right away. But it's doesn't that feel like such a waste of a private plane to just sleep?
No, that's just like your own bunk bed in the sky. Like, what the fuck? Like, where else? Would you just want to sit up and fly? Just because I definitely want to sleep on a private plane. Hell yeah. Right. I mean, at that point, and Seth, maybe I was being a little cocky, but I was like, this ain't gonna be the last time.
I was a little bit like when you're like, I'm never gonna fly Delta again. And you're
Yeah,
like,
it's
"Oh, I
like,
guess I
yeah, I'm never good. Like, come on, motherfucker, this is it, you know. But yeah, me and Lauren had a very special relationship. Because I think it was because I was very honest with him. I just was
Yes.
never that person that was like, because Lauren has that thing where he walks in the building and people run and shit. And I used to notice that. I used to say to him, like, God, that's got to be very lonely that motherfuckers are so scared of you. And I was like, do you like people that are scared of you or do you like people that love you? And he said, I like the fear that turns into love. And I was like, that is the most gangster shit I have ever heard from anyone. And I'm using that. And I just would text him and just treat him like a baby daddy. He loved it. He loved it.
It's a very good observation. I think everybody, because he makes this life-changing choice for people of putting them on the show. And so everybody reacts around or treats Lauren like they have everything to lose. And I felt like you never walked around like you had.
Well,
anything to lose.
because I don't have everything to fucking lose. Like this is, plus two, Lauren is a Scorpio. He doesn't suffer fools. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't have time for that shit. So a lot of times that people that would get ignored by him was people that was coming to him with fuck shit. I could see it on his face. Like he's turned. You could totally turn when we're at the table. When Lauren is not interested in a fucking sketch. You just know. Fucking know. You could see the light go off. Like you could just see the attention go to another place. Like he just doesn't suffer fools, and it's just. To me, he was so normal, but so complicated at the same time. Like I used to get so mad at him, but then I couldn't get mad at him because I loved him so much. I have like a love for him in my heart. It's just like the most complicated relationship I've ever had with anyone.
You're not alone. I feel like a lot of people's most complicated relationship might be with Lauren.
But I love him though to death.
I love him too.
It's crazy.
Do we want to drop some questions on Leslie, Josh?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
All right, Leslie, some quick questions here. Vacation questions. You can only pick one. Is your ideal vacation, is it relaxing, adventurous, or educational?
Oh, go fuck yourself. Why? It's just, why do people go on vacation for education? I don't get that. No, I want to sleep in. I want to order room service. I want to sit out on the balcony. I'm a relaxer.
Yeah. Well,
Do not wake me up to go on some adventure shit. I'm going to whoop your fucking ass. I did it once. I did the zip line shit. And let me tell you something. That's where I found out that I don't have to do that type of shit because my life is a zip line. I swear to God, I was sitting there and they was about to cut the rope for me to do that little Tarzan thing. And I was like, I don't need this. My life is this. I don't need this Tarzan shit. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You know what happened to Josh on a zip line?
I got dropped out of a zip line and broke my leg and my back and my jaw.
But good news, he was in Mexico.
Yeah, it was bad.
We were in Mexico too. Was it the same zip? Oh my God. I would have sued the fuck out of them.
Well, I didn't have like a lawyer, but I asked my entertainment lawyer and he was like, well, let me look into it. And he said, best case scenario, you will own a zip line course in Mexico and wait for someone to sue you and take it from you.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Leslie. I don't want to be on a zip line ever in my life anywhere.
Ever. And then like when I did the thing, I was like, okay, you guys, I don't want to do the rest of the course. Just take me back. And they was like, well, you got a zip line to that side. That's the only way to get down. And I looked at him. I said, why, Pedro? Why?
Were you between Ixtapa and Zihuatanejo by chance?
What? Motherfucker, did you just say?
This is in Mexico. This is...
No, I was at Baja, whatever that is, Cabo, whatever.
All right.
That Azasamasimo. See, this is why white people, that's why we don't like y'all.
Okay.
Those are Mexican names.
No, but you like, don't nobody know that shit. We know about Cabo and Cancun.
Can I tell you a true story about Leslie, one of my favorites? When Leslie, because people forget, Leslie started as a writer on the show. And it didn't take long for the situation to be rectified and realized that Leslie as a performer was her best value. And someone wrote a sketch for Drake that was based on the Glass Menagerie. and we were
I was
rewriting
so
it.
pissed.
Do you know
I was
this?
so mad. Oh, I was
We're
so
writing
mad.
this,
Go ahead.
rewriting this Glass Menagerie sketch, and Leslie's like, "Can I just say something? This sketch isn't gonna fucking work because nobody knows what the fuck anybody's talking about." And someone was like, the writer was like, "Well, it's based on this play," and you were like, "Nobody knows that fucking play. This is gonna bomb so hard." And I, as the head writer, I was like, "Leslie, we're actually just looking. We're trying to find you." And then it went up at dress, and it bombed so fucking hard.
Because what the fuck is a glass menagerie? and then what pissed me off is when you explained to me what it was, I was like, that's even fucking worse. That's worse. So she got a club foot or some shit, and that this guy is being nice and he's dancing with her because she has a club foot. This is fucking sad. And to be called the glass menagerie, I was like, y'all white people, this is when I was like, I'm dealing with some white motherfuckers, man. This is really white.
It certainly
Really.
made it all the worse that it had been written for Drake.
Drake's so sweet. I'm just gonna gun hole do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I was just like, motherfucker, if you start rapping, maybe if you would have wrote a glass menagerie rap, that shit probably would have saved it. Cecily was great. Cecily was great in the sketch. She was
You
actually
bombed really
great,
hard.
but there was no saving that shit.
You called it. All right.
I mean, I called a lot of shit. I called a lot of shit, Seth.
You called Delta and they took your miles away.
Motherfucker! If you listening, Delta, you owe me 94,000 points.
What's your favorite means of transportation? Trains, planes, automobiles, boat,
I like
bike?
to drive. I like
You
to drive.
drive.
Yeah, I like to drive. I like to drive. And if I had to, then I guess plane because it's quick.
Yeah.
But I don't like flying at all.
Okay. If you could take a vacation with any family other than your own family, what family would you like to go on a vacation with? They could be fictional. They could be historical. They could be current day.
Oh, but like Fred Sanford? Oh my God. How fun would that fucking be?
Yeah.
Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son, and then the dude Archie Bunker together. Oh my God.
Great.
Fireworks.
Oh my God. That would be the best trip ever.
Done. We're
Oh
going to make
my
it work.
God.
We're going to make it work.
If you could be stranded on a desert island with one member of your family, who would that
Oh, Jesus wept. I guess it would be my Aunt Pat, because I love my Aunt Pat and she can cook.
be? All right.
And I can stand my Aunt Pat. We probably argue a lot about church and stuff, but it's cool.
All right.
And you said North Carolina, is that where you were? That's where you mostly grew up?
North Carolina, Memphis is where I'm from.
Oh, Memphis. All right. Would you recommend Memphis as a vacation destination?
I mean, Beale Street, just stay on Beale Street. They stay on Beale Street, go to Elvis Mansion, that type of stuff. Get some barbecue, but just try to stay away from the hoods.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. I went to Nashville though. Nashville's off the chain. Oh,
yeah.
I'm so
Went
sorry,
to-
Memphis.
I went to a wedding in Nashville a couple years ago. It was great. Really fun.
Yeah, Nashville's off the chain.
And Seth has our last question.
My question for you is, have you been to the Grand Canyon?
Yes. We fly over it all the time, Seth. I mean,
No, I know
It's
you
just a-
flew over. I'm not
it's a
counting.
big
flew
hole in
over
the
it.
ground.
Have you gone?
That
to
should count. That should count, though. That should count because
it?
everybody
So you're
say they haven't
saying
seen.
you're saying you've been to the Grand Canyon?
Everybody's saying that they don't see the Grand Canyon, but if you flew over, you have seen it. So I don't know if I've actually been there. Maybe I haven't. Just don't remember. I think I did. I think I did when I drove to California. When I drove to New York.
Based
drove
on
from
what you
California.
saw from the window of your airplane, would you want to go
No,
more? Okay,
no, it's a big hole
Thank
in
you.
the ground.
thank you.
And I don't understand. You can see that anywhere. You can go to California, you can go to North Hollywood and literally see the same mountains that you would see in the Grand Canyon. It's just a big hole that's going to get filled with water. So just know that we're all going to die.
All right. Well, that's a very nice way to end this. Leslie fucking Jones is the title of the book. It's also
Yes!
the name of one of my dearest friends. What a joy to spend time with you, as always. And I can't wait to read the paperback, which I guess is probably going to have a few more mentions of me. from
I
the
can't
sounds
wait
of
to
things.
listen to the Audible version.
Yeah, I know. I want to read along with the book and
It's
see how
not
different.
going to happen. You're going to be like, you're literally going to put the book down and go, you're not needed here.
Yeah.
Congrats on the book. We love you, Leslie.
Thank you,
Oh,
Leslie.
thank you. I love you too, babe. This was so fun. I always like talking y'all crazy, so it's always a good interview. Bye, cuties.
Bye, Leslie.
There is a castle, Ramada, a magical place where you can stay. Delta won't take your points away, not at the castle, Ramada. There is an awesome ice machine, so you will never get too hot. There is no fear of passing out, not at the castle, Ramada. There were 2 different vending machines, one with candy, one with drinks, the longest hallways where children roamed, and one said, "Bitch, I'm Leslie fucking Jones." Jars full of pickles as a snack. Your ponytails would grow right back. You'd never find the slightest flaw, not at the castle, Ramada.